Namaste, Jai Bharat. There is one concept which is used in a very highly confusing manner. That is culture. We hear people very casually handling the concept of culture. The question is very serious when you ask this question. What does one understand by culture? That's very important. Otherwise, the judgments go wrong, presentations may go wrong, shall go wrong, not just may go wrong. When you say culture, what does one mean? Prima facie, let's try to understand, or let's try to unpack a common parlance culture concept of culture. Common parlance concept of culture. It may be because the way you move about, the way you talk, the way you do things, and the way you dress, etc., etc. But if this is culture, then how do you differentiate between habit and culture? These are your habits. These are acquired habits. Some of them are acquired habits. Some of them are natural habit that comes to you from nature naturally. But then it's a serious mistake. You confuse that with culture. For instance, let's take the example of Pakistani society. Many times the YouTubers speak of Pakistani culture, Pakistani culture. Even if you grant that there is one Pakistani culture, you find given their understanding of culture, there are variations, differences among them. If you talk about the behavior in general, which includes dressing, eating, this thing, that thing, all kinds of function, that instinctive operations of man, then it's difficult to speak about one Pakistani culture. There are different people, they speak different languages, they have different ways of doing this. If you understand habit as culture, this is really not the case. Now, let's try to understand culture, which is important. For those who happen to hear, it's very important. You try to understand how a man, human, is different from animal. You think in those terms, how man is different from animal, not physically, but behaviorally. You say man has society, of course. Sociologists would start teaching you that man is social animal, but say that you're an animal nonetheless. But if you look at the difference between animal and human, you know the difference, but you are unable to spell it out. There is a marked difference between animals and human. Though when asked, one may not be able to spell it out in details, but all right. Somebody say rationality, well, somebody say consciousness, which would be still more to the point. But the difference between animal and human, in another perspective, is that man is civilized. Civilized. So culture, when you speak of, should be much more than a habit. It should include concept of being civilized. And now, what is being civilized? Being civilized, if you try to unpack the concept of being civilized, you should speak that when humans become refined, then you can say is being civilized, not just interaction for benefits from one to another, like Hobbes, Locke, etc. would have said, or Rousseau would have said, that for mutual benefit you come together. No. Civilization should be a habit. inbuilt attitude towards the other, towards the cosmos, the nature, other living beings, everything includes the cosmos. How you look at the cosmos, and how you coexist with the cosmos. Civilization should mean something like that. So habits upon civilization, you may be able to call as culture. In other words, let's see culture as refined human existence. One more step ahead, refined human coexistence. And refined, one more step ahead, and refined human coexistence with the cosmos, not just other living beings or the nature, but with the cosmos itself. Nature obviously has to be there. But when people use the word culture, then these ingredients are never found in it, and what they speak as culture is mere peripheral movements towards ideas or habits, which are picked up and dropped and dropped and picked up. This. So mostly I've seen the YouTubers in Pakistan speak of culture. The point is that neither do they understand, nor do they make any sense to someone who is intensely trying to listen. So contemplate on it, think about it. Your concepts should be formed by you yourselves, and others can only lead you to such thought process. In Bharatiya knowledge tradition, there are 3 stages of knowing which is important now. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Triputi knowledge. So you travel through this, then things should settle in your mind as concepts. We shall see again. Let's see again. But again, whenever some people do speak of culture, don't get disappointed because they don't mean anything actually when it comes to analysis. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Siya Ram.